Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a review on the highlighter palette from BH Cosmetics. I did get the notification that the palette had launched, so I wanted to get my hands on it and come and review it and let you loves know what I think about this palette. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So this is the palette right here. This is called the BH Cosmetics Spotlight Highlight Palette. Now this palette retails for $17 and it does contain 6 highlighters. So within the collection, there were 2 highlighters that was released. You have the backlight palette and you also have the spotlight palette. I chose to go with the spotlight palette because I felt as though it would be a little bit more complimentary on my skin tone. And this is the packaging of the palette, and then on the back of the palette you just have the content and the ingredients and so forth and so on. And then when you open up the palette, you do get a full-size mirror. Don't want to blind you guys, and it does contain 6 highlighters. Now initially when I saw the highlighter size, I was like, these highlighters are huge. And I think for $17, paying $17 and getting such great size highlighters is definitely going to be worth it. Before I get into swatching, I'm just going to give like a brief overview of the palette. Oh man, I done pinched one. So BH Cosmetics says that it's a shade of pearly ivory to copper to bronze that flatter all skin tones. It's creamy and it's pigmented. Just to note that there are names that are attached to the highlighters, which I do think is an awesome look. So especially when you're referencing a highlighter, you do have a name to go behind it. So the first shade that I'm going to swatch right here is called E-Through. I want to say that's how you say the name, E-Through. So that shade right there is called E-Through. It has definitely iridescent. It does look white, but it does have like a gold undertone to it. Beautiful, beautiful shade. The next shade that I have is Dream, which is going to be maybe a copper highlight shade. The next shade that I have is Radiance, and Radiance is going to be that bronze shade. I do see a lot of pink in its undertone, but such a beautiful shade. Now you guys can already see that these are super pigmented. The next shade that I have is Glow. It is white. It does have a white, but I do see a little bit of blue in its undertone. A beautiful shade. Definitely not something that's going to complement my skin tone. Definitely want to see how that will work, but it's still a beautiful shade. The next shade that I have is going to be my second favorite from the palette. Ooh, that is so pretty. And this one right here is called Allure. It's like a pinky purpley highlighter. You can definitely see that mauve at the in the undertone of it. That is beautiful, beautiful shade. And then the last shade that I have is Vivid, and this one is going to be my favorite one. So that one is not as pigmented as the other ones. It does, let's see if it is a little bit chalky, but it's still a beautiful shade. So these are all the 6 shades that come in the palette. Now what I would say about the shades in the palette is that they are definitely creamy. They are super pigmented. I do feel as though I can get away with wearing all of the shades within the palette outside of maybe Glow, which is a little bit too light for my skin tone, and E-Through as well. But I do feel as though Dream, Radiance, and Allure along with Vivid are definitely going to be colors that you would definitely be able to pull off. As I stated before, they are huge. I'm going to give you a close-up of the palette, but nonetheless, this is an awesome palette. I haven't worn any of the highlighters on my face as of right now. I just pulled it out the mailbox and I'm just super ecstatic, super stoked about this. Now, this palette can easily run between $40 to $50, so I do feel as though for $17, 6 huge highlighters along with the shade, I think that this is definitely going to be one to take a look at, something to consider if you're looking at it. They are women of color friendly. They are pigmented and creamy. They did glide on really well, as you can see. So nonetheless, yes, BH Cosmetics, I am here for it. So definitely let me know what you think down in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel before you leave. And yeah, I will see you loves in my next video. Bye guys.